What is up YouTube, and today we are back in DokiDoki Inferno, and I'll be showing you guys a one-shot comp that I am using that actually doesn't use Rilmocha because so many of you people asked. So here we go. You can see my average clears are going to be around like 1 minute, 55 seconds-ish. So you'll get the 3 stars, you'll be able to 10 run it, and you can just clear very fast during 2x or whenever you want. It's going to be pretty consistent, and I'll show you actually 3 teams. So when I go into the character screen, I'll just, talk about lattice investment and kind of like basically what you need the characters for. But, when I show you guys the 3 teams, that's when I'll talk about the stats at the start, so you guys can skip ahead and look at those if you want. But basically, there's going to be a lot of teams you can use. The common factor for every team is you need Lily, you need Ninfoniel, and you need Massiah the Reverie. Now, the reason why you need Lily, and some people might be like, oh, this guy's using Lily. Well, unfortunately, DokiDoki is a boss where there's 2 waves. So you really need to reset the cooldown, and Red Catchy doesn't do enough. You can't bring Dorothy the Wisher and Red Catchy because you need to bring, CCs and stuff like that. So there's not enough room on the team, so Lily just makes it a lot easier. If you guys don't have Lily, it's just better to use the Rilmocha team by far, but if you do have Lily, then this team might be good for you because you already have her built. Now the DPS spot, you can use Massiah, you can also use, what's her name, Yeli. I've seen people use Blue Rin actually, and it works. I didn't test it out because I don't have the materials and the mats to build her, but Blue Rin can work, apparently. Giada works as well. So I don't know if Giada can one-shot. She might have to do a slower run. You might have to put in Ling Luo, but she does a lot of AoE damage too. Now in terms of the last slot, you can run Kloss. Kloss is going to be the most common one. I use Obel when I run with Massiah because Massiah penetrates defense, so he actually doesn't need the defense down to kill stuff, which makes it so that you have 2 CCers, so you have a higher win rate. And this is the main team I actually use because the win rate's going to be the highest with this, and it's not reliant on defense break, having to land. You just need either the stun or the sleep to land, and you'll be good to go. So like I said, this is the run. You can see it's pretty fast. I'll show you guys basically the lattice investment and stuff like that. For Ninfoniel, you need to have her S3 at level 3. Basically, her role is to go before the first wave minions because you need her to actually be putting up the immunity and the attack buff and stuff like that. You also want her on full HP bonus, so you have the thickest shield possible, and you will need her on Codex. In terms of your Massiah the Reverie, you want her pretty fast as well. You want to make sure she's 20% faster than your DPS because she needs to not get overtaken on the turn meter when Lily uses her twin trick turn meter push. So that's why you want her to be 20% faster, and you don't want her too fast because weird things will happen on the second wave, trust me. A lot of the things I talk about speed tuning, it really comes down to just how everyone on your team is tuned. You can't really just change one unit and fix everything a lot of the times. You have to just kind of keep trying, which is why even when I was making this video, it took a while because I had to fix some speed up. But basically, you want to make sure she has S3 maxed. You also want to make sure you have your S2 maxed because the turn meter push is pretty good. And you want her on Codex as well with full effect accuracy. Now in terms of Lily, you want her as fast as you can, but not too fast. I found 290 to be the sweet spot because if she's too fast, on the second wave, she laps your Massiah and it just pushes your DPS past your Massiah before she can sleep, and then your run just insta fails. So you don't want her too fast. 290 is probably fine. Like I said, it really comes down to how your entire team is tuned. But basically all you need is S1 maxed. Having S2 maxed is actually gonna make it harder to build it because now you have to deal with the 30% turn meter. So yeah, good luck with that. I don't know how to do that. But yeah, like I said, she's here to reduce your cooldowns by 2 turns and also your shells, which is very important, and she's very, very good. Now, the other slots, doesn't really matter. Like Obel and Kloss, they're going to be, interchangeable. You can use Obel with Massiah if you have enough damage, or you can use Kloss with Yeli. You can even use Kloss with Massiah, it's fine. But basically, you just want them to go sometime during the first wave and sometime during the second wave, as long as it is before your Massiah. So this is the first team. Like I said, I'll mouse over the stats. Shell on Lily doesn't matter. You want Codex on Obel. You want him on high effect accuracy and just to go whenever. With Massiah, you want to actually go Harvest Fury. You can see I'm not activating the momentum at all. That's because we don't have a defense down, and his S3 actually only penetrates 70%. So you do want to make sure that you get a little bit more because it will help out a lot. And then Ninfoniel, just fast enough to go for the ads. And then we have Massiah the Reverie, 20% or more faster than my Massiah. So I'll show you guys the run, and it's pretty simple in how it works. You're going to see basically we boost up, Ninfoniel S3s, and then we have 2 chances to CC. So we land all of the stuns, we break off the shield, which is great, and Massiah will sleep, and then my Massiah will go and just one-shot everything, no defense down needed. Same thing on the second wave here. You're going to be focusing the middle ad here. The first wave doesn't really matter too much, but for the second wave, you want to hit the middle ad because it is the tankiest. So you will want to focus it down with, your continuous battle settings. I stun, I sleep, and then my Massiah goes, and this should do enough damage, almost. But you can see the ad is still stunned, and, the wave will die eventually, right? You just have to hit it a few more times. I'm sure you can make it so that it's quicker, but this is how the run usually goes, and it's like 53 seconds with this team. So I'll show you guys the Yeli team now. It's pretty much the same build on Obel as Klaus. You just have her go, whenever after your openers and before your Massiah on DPS, on high effect accuracy on Codex. And on this run, I actually have Lily on Jackal Guard because sometimes the ads actually live on the first wave with very little health, especially the 2 middle ones, because Yeli's damage is a bit lower than Massiah's, honestly. So what I actually do is I target one of the middle ones, Yeli will kill it with her follow-up attack, and if one lives with a sliver of health, Lily will S3 before the second wave, and then Jackal Guard will go into it and kill it. And yeah, my other stats are pretty much the same. My Massiah speed's a little bit different because, like I said, 20% speed, right? But I'll show you guys the run. So usually I target the right one, the middle right one, and that way my Yeli is pretty much guaranteed to kill it with her follow-up attack. And because we're using Klaus, it is going to be more reliant on your debuffs landing, which is why I like the Massiah Obel team more. But you can see here, Yeli will go with her S3. She's going to pretty much one-shot the wave. Yeah, so we didn't even need the follow-up attack or the Jackal Guard, but just a safety precaution. And then similar to Massiah Team, you want to target the middle ad because it is the tankiest, and your follow-up attacks can actually, kill the middle ad pretty fast. You can see here, my Lily does lap, some speed tuning issues, but it doesn't really matter because I think Yeli just kills everything here, right? Yeah, so that is the Yeli team that works. Ninfoniel is just buffing the damage so much, it's kind of insane. So I'll show you guys the Massiah Klaus team. So basically it's the same thing as a Yeli team. The only thing is that Massiah is on momentum instead of the Fury Harvest with Obel, because defense down makes it so that you penetrate less defense, so it's kind of wasted. And we have Klaus now, who has a 2-turn debuff instead of a 1-turn like Obel, so they stick on the mobs, so you can actually benefit very, very greatly from momentum's bonus. And for this one, it doesn't really matter what you target because Massiah just does more damage. Yeli wants to target stuff because you have to sometimes use her follow-up attacks. We do miss the defense down, but honestly it's still fine because you're going to see Massiah is just a broken character. Yep, that's just how it works. And then basically, yeah, this one you want to hit the middle one on this wave because it is the tankiest, so you want the Jackal Guard to go into it even though it does almost 0 damage. And then we sleep, and then Lily will S1. It wakes it up, but I think this kills or will be very close to killing. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I mean, that one's still alive, but you can see. Basically, if one of these doesn't get slept, it's not the end of the world because, we have enough damage where we can just kill. Yeah, and it's dead. And it's a 58-second run. This one's usually like 40 seconds, so it's pretty quick. But yeah, those are the one-shot teams that don't have Rilmocha. I know I'm using Lily, but I don't know what to tell you. It's pretty hard to do it without Lily. I mean, you can do one with Massiah and Yeli and tune it differently, but for the most part, if you're trying to speed clear without Rilmocha, you will need to use Lily with some AoE DPS, whether it be Massiah, whether it be Yeli, Giada, Rosa, maybe not Rosa, but like Blue Rin works, and stuff like that. So thank you for watching, guys. Hopefully this helps you guys out, and I'll see you guys next time.